Let me just sign in here. All right, what is up, guys? So a question I get a lot is, should I learn iOS development or web development? And it's not really a question that can be answered with a yes or no, right? So in this video, let's just dive into some of my thoughts on the question and whether or not one or the other is right for you personally. All right, so here's the deal. All right, so we're gonna go over three specific things in this video, okay? The first one is gonna be, which one should I start with if I'm just learning to code and I wanna pick up the basics and eventually become either a mobile developer or a web developer, okay? That's the first topic. And then we're gonna talk about whether or not I should choose iOS or like mobile, right? Or web development if I already know how to code a bit. And then the last topic is, which one's more saturated and what's my best shot given a few certain points. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But yeah, three main topics. Let's dive into it. So if you're just learning to code and you want to either be a web developer or a mobile developer, your best bet either way is to start with web development, because as a mobile developer, you're probably going to want to know a little bit of web development down the road anyway. But the main reason is because web development is a lot easier to understand at first, specifically because HTML and CSS are very simple, and well, CSS can be simple. And then once you start learning JavaScript, you'll eventually start learning object-oriented principles, which then will take you right into Swift, which is object-oriented, which is iOS development. Okay, now if you're just like, I want to learn about Swift right now, I do actually have another channel in which I make Swift tutorials on. Don't want to plug that here. I'm just saying that's there if you're looking for a Swift tutorial, and this is all just kind of annoying. But yeah, that's out there. It's Max Codes. But whether or not you're going to learn mobile development or web development, your best bet is to start with web development and learn HTML and CSS. Then when you learn JavaScript, you'll have a decent understanding of regular programming, and then you can hop into the more advanced object-oriented concepts like you would see in a traditional kind of application with C++, or specifically in this case, Swift in Xcode, okay? Because that's object-oriented and protocol-oriented. Okay, so the second topic, what if I already know how to code and I'm trying to choose a path? Well, here's the deal. You're best to go with whichever one you want, because if you already know how to code a little bit, then either way, you're going to pick up each path according to your experience, right? Now, I personally think that they each have their caveats and their good things, right? Like for Swift, I think it's a lot easier in that it's a cleaner language, but then at the same time, it's a more verbose kind of approach to software development. You require a lot more code, and the concepts are really different than you'd find in, say, a React front-end application. Now, with that being said, it's not as versatile as web development. Web development is extremely versatile, and if you're really wanting to go and build things in a custom way, you're going to want to do web development because there's more than one way. If you want to kind of follow, like, of course there's best practices, but if you really want to follow one thing, there's really one way to do it, then this is kind of untrue, but it's also very true. In iOS development, there's, I'd say, a more narrow field of best practices, and there's more singular ways of doing things, if that makes sense. Obviously in programming, there's unlimited ways of doing things, but when it comes to Swift programming, things are set up by Apple or Swift by Apple over at Apple. I don't know what I'm saying. Things are set up so that it is, there's less ways of doing it, if that makes sense. Drop a comment and let me know if that doesn't make any sense, or if you know Swift, call me out on my BS, I don't know. But that's how I feel about it, and I'm pretty firm in that. Okay, so the last quick topic is, which is more saturated? What do I have the best shot at? And I think this is probably what most of you are here for, right? And the answer is web development. You're going to have a lot more opportunity in web development, but that's not to say that there's not a ton of opportunity in mobile development. There's plenty, but it's a higher barrier to entry. Web development is a lot easier to get into regarding when it comes to jobs, right? You can get jobs much quicker in web development, okay? Because there's always quick little projects you can do, and iOS apps are just a little bit different, okay? Especially when it comes to corporate jobs and higher paying jobs. Now, you might be able to find a mobile job really easy that is low paying, but when it comes to high paying jobs, web development is a lot easier to find jobs in, okay? And mobile development pays a little bit more generally, but it requires you have more experience. And that's another reason you should learn web development first, is that you could go out and get a job much quicker as you're learning mobile development, and you could be making a lot of money as you're learning mobile development, and that converts into more experience, which then allows you to land those iOS mobile jobs a lot easier. Okay, so that's about it. Just starting these kind of vlogs now, and I really want to start uploading them and building a following on this YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel, Max Codes, but I really want to start talking more and doing more vlogs, face-to-face kind of things. And yeah, I hope you guys like the video. Drop a comment and a like and leave a subscribe. I don't know what I'm saying, but I think you get the point. Share the video too, so the algorithm will get people on the channel. All right, peace out, homies.